Can you hear it? Welcome to Relay.
Now. Quick! I have no intro. We have some strange people this week. We've got a mutineer, a pirate, a scallywag, a murderer, an assassin, a cheat, and a scoundrel, and that's just Shiver. We've also got Desmarius, the man with the golden hands. I'd like everyone in chat to give him a huge shout out, for he and Sunjammer did the transcript this week in its entirety. They are amazing. Standing ovation. I'd stand, but I'd have to put on pants, so... Thanks, Des. And Sunjammer, if he's around, listening somewhere. And then we have Brian. Hi, Bree Serena.
Hi.
I'd try and make fun of Bry Guy, but I can't because he's nice. So thanks for being on, Bryvols.
Not a problem. Glad to be here.
Let's get this show on the road. It is the Relay Station. This is where, if I were professional and planned ahead, I'd have like some kind of sting and some music and fireworks. But no, we're just going to start talking about Star Citizen. How's everyone doing this week? Silence.
Enthused!
I'll take enthused.
Awesome.
I don't know what I'm enthused for. There was no Melissa Estrada again.
I know, right?
Are you here for game development or...
The two are not mutually exclusive.
Okay. Point. Sargareth, fireworks are not illegal in Canada, but fun ones are. So let's... oh, wait. I guess we can just move straight on to the show and tell for now. Let's do this. Haha. Show and tell.
Is the bot working this week?
It should be. I think the bot should be working. Yes!
It is!
I fixed
Yay.
that. So we got a look at some new armor and stuff in the whatever it is.
ATV.
ATV, yes, that's the show name. The armor's all right. It's armor. I don't know. What did you guys think about ATV this week? Desmarius, you transcribed it.
Yeah, but that didn't mean that I watched it.
That's true. That's true. Just so you know, transcribers don't actually get to watch the show. They have to rewatch it after.
I thought it was it discussed one of the topics that I was really eager for, even if it's in its beginning iterative stages, which is the character creation. And it was nice to see a little bit more depth in that. They talked about it before and told us about it when, of course, the latest patch launched. But it was nice to get a little bit more in depth with it.
What do you
see some of the problems that they had and how they overcame them?
Yeah. What are you most excited for about like character creation? And especially, they did mention this week that right now you can like go back and re-customize your character in the PU, right? You can go back freely, but they are going to down the road make it so that you have to visit like specialized shops in the verse to change your character. What do you think about going to a weird shop and like morphing your face?
I thought it was interesting because it's in a way it kind of it's looking to the future, because we have so much plastic surgery in our society today. In the future, it'll probably be not as big of a thing, probably be a lot easier to do and a lot better results. And not as harmful results as well with body dysmorphia and things of that nature. But then also the thing I got to thinking, because they're putting these mechanics in a bit at a time. It's like, okay, so now we can change as much as we want just to play around and see what we like and what we want our character to look like. And in the future, we won't be stuck. They're giving us an option. It'll cost a little bit of money. That'll be a little bit of a money sink for us. And then also, that kind of puts in something they haven't discussed in a long time, but where you could hack your ID. So if you went to like a plastic surgeon, so to speak, just to call them something, in an off-world area, in an outlaw area, where that as soon as the surgery is done, you weren't registered again, you've got a whole new ID, So it was just interesting. You could see the possibilities coming from it, at least I thought.
It's like changing your car color in GTA gets rid of your wanted level. Well, no, we're just going to change everything. What do you think, Brian?
It's good. I mean, I didn't quite pay attention too much to that section. I was more interested in the UK update. But it sounds cool. Sounds great.
How about you, Shiver? Are you excited for a Mohawk in game?
I previously couldn't care less, but now that Des mentioned those things with the knock-on effects, like, oh, okay, that's got potential. But you can't kill people in the character customizer, so.
How much customization are you like? We know that there's going to be a bunch of different heads that you can pick from and morph eventually, and hairstyles and all that. But is that enough customization for you, or do you want more like Black Desert Online form of like sliders, right? Like you take Oblivion or any of the Elder Scrolls games, and what you always find is people just max out all the sliders and make the ugliest looking troll thing possible. Do you think that Star Citizen is going to be missing something if they don't have that? If they don't have the ability to create some like something that looks like
there's going to be people who would look like Sloth in game. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, isn't that the end goal to the character customizer to have? I know it's going to be preset preset faces and all that now, but we're going to have some variability in what we can choose.
Yeah. Do you
probably within a slider-esque mechanic?
Do you hope that they keep it slightly more realistic? Because I there's some games that will let you customize a bit, but it still looks like a human, and then there's others like Fallout where you can make it look not human. Do you hope that there's enough room to like go all out, or do you want it to stick to a little bit of realism?
I personally, I could go either or. It really all depends on what CIG wants to do. If I try to be a little bit more realistic, but sometimes you just want to play as that goofy ass character.
Or me. Yeah. So what else?
Just waiting to see if someone's going to make a character that looks like an abstract painting, and then all the lines it can ever say is just "kill me."
That'd be good.
Kind of an ode to the fly, I guess. One of the things I thought on that note was I've seen games before where they've had incredible options for, I hate to call it morphing, but where you could actually change the structure.
Yeah.
Sculpting.
Geography of the face and what have you. I thought it was incredible. So many options, it was hard to decide. What blows my mind is that they're using face rig, obviously, to scan these things in, and then they're going to put in sliders to morph from one to the other, which sounds very similar, but even over the top of that, and it's just like, whoa, I don't know if I'm ready for that, but I'll try and hang on. It's going to be beautiful to see and ride it.
Yeah. Star Citizen is probably going to be one of the first games that I try to make myself instead of a character. I'm going to try and make me in game, right? Like,
not a female character. I thought you were all about the female avatar.
I am normally, and in every single other game, I've always played female characters. But in Star Citizen, no, I'm going to play myself.
Okay.
As
kudos.
Strange as it is.
Why not a female character of yourself?
The
beard.
Oh.
I kind of like my beard, and I can't really pull it off. It's funny because I almost need a female hairstyle and then the beard.
I've seen worst.
Okay. What else did we see? There. Mining. They showed off some mining. What do you guys think?
I like it.
Are you excited to like mine? Because we should see it in what? April. We're 2 months away from mining, right?
should be in 3.2, right?
Yeah, so we're 2
Yeah.
months away.
with the
Yeah.
prospector. Yeah. I thought it was interesting that it showed us basically two things. One was kind of how the mechanic would work, the laser cutting and breaking open, and then the extractor basically sucking it into the storage. And then the other one, which the graphics on it was just pure eye candy, where they had actually started working on the where they had talked a long time ago. One of the most deep dive things we had was all the different jobs you would have on like an Orion,
Yeah.
and all the responsibilities. It's like, okay, you got to cut it open with a certain type of laser power. Don't go too far overboard or you'll get an explosion. If there's gas pockets and things of that nature. And you can see the graphs and the graphics working in tandem to do just that. And
Yeah.
it was amazing.
The smoking and the red and like
The audio reverberation of that is just awesome too.
I think I can actually. I think I could. Oh no, I don't know if it has audio. Never mind.
I think
But, like-
Weez hit the nail right on the head when he says it's cool that we're finally starting to see other game mechanics apart from fighting.
Yes. This to me is I'm more excited to see salvage because I mean lots of games have mining. It's not that difficult to kill rock, get, X resource from rock, move on. I think salvage is a lot more interesting of like you're gonna have to go in and cut out certain parts of the ship and take the components you want and then, cut the ship apart and sell. That to me is it's like you're looting dead bodies and then cutting them to pieces to sell to an organ harvester later too. And be like, ooh, this heart will fetch. Ooh, this is a good liver. I mean, I might have taken it a little extreme there, but
It's an interesting window into your life.
Yeah, but it's not inaccurate. It's very accurate.
But the graphics on this, like the tufts of steam escaping from this rock, it's beautiful. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited for, this.
It's nice. I mean, I might even take a couple of seconds to just watch someone mine before I blow them up.
Do you think you'll do any mining, Shiver, at all?
No.
None.
Like, well, maybe if I'm really, really bored and it's like there's no one else to kill and all I've got is rocks to shoot at.
You
So-
you wouldn't even try it just to, see?
No, I can no.
What about
You
you,
don't
Brian?
It's not my bag.
Oh yeah, man, I'll definitely do it. Throw on the various podcasts I listen to and just sit back and suck up some rocks.
Des, are you excited for mining?
I kind of am. When I first backed Star Citizen, it wasn't my main thing. I thought it might be something I might fall back on. But then I entered a contest, ended up winning a prospector
Nice.
from Nubifire.
Nice.
And
Oh,
I've been
nice.
just jonesing ever since because it's a wonderful ship. And then the mechanics, that deep dive they came out with several years ago, and I'm like, God, this sounds fantastic. It's not just okay, set it and forget it,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And then now with this, it's just like, yeah. As long as I can stay away from Shiver, I'll be fine.
I'm actually.
So
really...
is it fair to say the majority of people quite dig mining?
Dadgummit, Shiver, I was saving that.
I hate you all.
Is there anything else you want to wax?
I don't know. I'm really having
Let's drill
I'm
into
really
this.
having a trouble picking topics right now.
Well, something
You
else I saw.
shafted.
Something else I saw that was shifted. Something else I saw that I thought was really neat is that they kind of reiterated, and they're actually working on it now with the components to where wear and tear will affect their performance. The quality of the product that you buy originally as a component will affect your, whether you bought it from Walmart or whether you bought it from Napa Auto Parts will make a difference,
And that's
that
something
kind of
they've been talking about that for a long time, and I can remember transcribing. I think it was Calyx, probably like 2 years ago, back when they first started working on Item System 2.0, talking about how they were going to be implementing all of this, like the decay and there's even supposed to be like weapon variants in specific weapons, right? Like you can buy 2 from a store and they might be slightly different. And then you can tune them and they'll get damaged and they'll get dirty and like
You know, when they first came up with that era, it's the first thing I remember them ever saying about that, really. And maybe it was about at the same time, it was so long ago, but remember when they gave us in the hangar that little workbench?
Yeah.
You know, not that big a deal. It's kind of underrated, just something to put in your hangar. But they said in the future, you'll be able to work and tune up your vehicles. And it's like, yeah, whatever. You know, it's a nice little, but along the way, they've constantly said things. And now they're actually starting to do it, you know, to where that's going to be a thing. It's like, this is cool.
Yeah. It's all getting really cool. I've got a good friend. I think he's actually going to be on the podcast next week to talk about an article that he's writing and that's going to go up on Relay next week. But one of the things we've been talking about a lot this week, he's an original backer. He backed like the same day I did, but he kind of ignored Star Citizen since the Kickstart, and he's now starting to come back in and he's actually spent this week going back and rereading all of the design documentation, all of the deep dives, all of the shipyard posts, rereading everything to start, to work on this article that he's writing. And just sitting there and talking to him and listening to someone who hasn't followed it all the way along be excited about the various things and be like, oh, this and oh, this. And it's really nice to have this entire like 4 or 5 year journey condensed into a week. It feels great. It is a lot of reading, but yeah. But this is a note to keep an eye out on relay.sc for that article. It should be going up sometime this week as soon as we get it up. And then join us next week for the podcast, because did I hit record? Nope. Totes didn't. Totes forgot to hit record.
I started recording as soon as you went live.
You're a better man than I, Shiv.
No one's disputing that.
Way to go, me. Okay. The worst. Just, God damn it. I'm sorry. Anyway.
You're not.
I'm not, but what do you guys... It might take a minute for this video to pop up for you guys, but they showed off a bit of Hurston and some other stuff of like on-planet stuff. What do you think of how that looks? One scene of this has like greenery and grass and trees. What do you think? Did any of you watch that little bit with the green? Because
I quite like the trees, and I still think they need a little bit more work, because the one problem that you always have, or I've always encountered with trees and foliage in general in any game, is it's like certain lengths away, it's like, yeah, that looks quite nice. That's a nice looking tree. They've got a bit of vegetation on there. It's just right. And then you go up to it and it's like, this is a horrible 2D pixel. And I get why they've got to cut corners, especially with the fucking vegetation, because otherwise you're going to have to render a billion bloody leaves at fucking 4K or whatever, that's obviously an exaggeration, but there's got to be a better solution than just these horrible 2D things. And what they're doing is looking really nice, but it still needs a little bit more work.
Just a little bit more green.
Yeah.
I find it kind of interesting, and I'm finding this, and maybe I'm weird, but I'm actually finding characters are now getting better than trees. Like, characters look so good, and I still look at trees and get close to a tree, and that doesn't look like a tree. Yeah.
They need to branch out on that, don't they?
They really
get
do.
To the root cause of that problem.
Yes.
Bifurcate it a little bit.
The problem is vegetation's got a lot of stigma these days.
I don't know. I think that they're leaving it out too much. Like, they're not...
Oh, bollocks. Why did I leave that one out?
Sorry.
Well done.
They definitely need to get back to the root of the matter
Mm-hmm.
to avoid
They
pithy
do.
comments in the future. You know.
I hate you all.
No,
I think
sorry.
the thing that I think, and I can't catch it. I wish I could like pause this video on the thing, but I mean, all of this looks pretty good. But when you get to the, like, this looks good, but as soon as the part with the planes, the open plains starts, that looks really good. And all that they're still missing is some animals there. I want to see some wildlife finally. I'm really happy to be seeing you know, trees and plants and just grass, which we've basically not seen. We've seen barren wastelands to this point. Or I'm excited to see grass. I want to see animals next. I want to see the fauna.
You know, I thought the grassland looked really good this time, and I agree with you as far as the fauna that needs to be put in there. The only thing is, in the future, I'm looking really forward to see what they do with like a jungle planet, which I know it's got to be a different biome, it's a different planet, but it's going to be interesting to see how they do with the density of that.
Yeah.
And then that, I thought the Hurston trash area, to call it something, was really cool. But something that surprised me is how clear the air was. It looked better than Houston. It's like, hey, come on, that's supposed to be like a polluted planet. Let's put some smog in there, you know?
It does look really nice there. And yeah, you're probably right. There should be a little dust and debris and just general pollution, but
what if it's pretty much dead? Just it is barren rock, and the only time that it really does have that sort of thing happen is when a wind kicks up, and then all of a sudden you've got to worry about the rust particles in the air, and it's probably better if you're in a space suit the entire time you're there, because then the atmosphere is completely unbreathable. And it could be that sort of I suppose global scale. It could be global scale. Literal player versus environment might be interesting mechanics, because that's not often done in a game. Did you wet yourself?
no, I spilled some beer.
Oh,
But I spilt it on the chair, so I'm good.
Alcohol abuse confirmed.
Yep. That's actually something that. So one of the things I've been wondering for a long time, and you know what? Let's. I want to pick your brains on this. Ooh, someone's just sent me a link that I need to check. One moment, please. Oh yeah, they did. We Hamster sent this image that I've posted in chat. They did show some fauna, which look amazing. They showed it back a couple months ago. Looks really cool. I want to see like larger things like predator and prey animals and start getting those in. But kind of want to pick your brains on the survival aspects, because we found out, I guess, late last year that they would have things like starvation. Like you could, if you got crash landed on a planet, you could starve. You'd have to find food and such. Do you hope that do you think that that's something that'll play in often? Will you ever find yourself crash landed on a planet without an ability to call for help?
I hope not. I mean,
Personally, yeah.
It would depend on where you are, what you do, wouldn't it?
yeah.
If you're an explorer on the outer fringes of space, it's more likely to happen than if you're exploring Earth and you drop down and then you just got to call AA or something.
I'm also hoping that, unlike a lot of the survival games, that every 5 minutes you're needing to drink, needing to eat, that kind of thing. I hope they have an eye. So far, they seem to have a really good grasp of balancing realism with gameplay, and hopefully they'll find a really nice balance in there. Because I would, if it was really nice balance, I don't mind having to fulfill. Okay, I've got to find some water. Okay, food sometime soon. Definitely got to find oxygen, or I'm, toast. I don't mind that. That's realism and that's cool. But as long as it's not every 5 minutes, or some of them, it's just unreal. It's like, come on, he couldn't have gone through it that quick,
The human body can last for a few days without water. Not long, admittedly, but a few days.
Yeah.
More than 3 minutes. 3 days. Okay.
All
And
I
2
know,
weeks without food.
yeah. All I know is we need more Vespene gas, because it looks like a little. Just leave me alone. I give up. I'm sorry.
There was no need for that omission.
So that's all of the videos that we had for this week from ATV. Thanks, as always, go out to Haramis for creating all those and packaging them easily so that I can, deal with them and put them up and show them.
I think Haramis is actually out of Bar Citizen right now, getting drunk.
Nice. That is a good place to be.
That is a great place to be.
He could just be getting drunk on his own in his house, which would be just as nice.
I just got a message from him saying that he's at an event. So have fun, Haramis.
Yeah, there's several Bar Citizens going on right now.
Yeah, there's actually one in where I am in near DC. Unfortunately, I can't make it because I'm stuck at home.
Oh, I can't make it to most events because wait, why is it doing that?
I was gonna say, are we off?
No, what happened?
I don't know.
Oh, it does that. Sorry about that. Oh, I can't talk to anyone on Discord when I'm doing this. I forgot. Sorry, not bad.
You only stopped doing it for 1 week and you've forgotten to press record. You've forgotten you can't speak on Discord. You had a good time off, didn't you?
No. I'm out of it today. I apologize. Oh, it's been a long week.
Gameplay
Actually, we just found out today that our next door neighbor, the house next to ours, apparently before we moved in, there was an explosion and a fire in this house next to ours. Uh-oh, Triangularity.
Thank you, Triangularity.
Thank you, Triangularity. There was a fire in the house next to mine, and we just found out that it sounds like a bunch of people from Quebec came over and broke into this house and poured gasoline all over the basement, and then it tried to cause an explosion in this house. Our next door neighbors think that the guys were selling drugs, and so there's a drug house next door, which is cool.
Isn't that Quebec?
Quebec, yes.
Way back.
From over in the Quebec. So finding that out today was interesting.
Wow.
That's a bit spooky.
Yeah, it is. But I like my house at least, and I've got.
So if you want to buy some crystal meth, go to his house.
Yeah, well, next door anyway.
Get that real blue stuff too.
Yeah.
You stay up all night. Need to get a lot of work done. Just go right next door.
I could maybe
want to save money on dentistry.
If I had some, I could maybe put together a decent cast. I'd have the time and the energy to focus and put together a sting.
I can't. There's a part of me that's just sat here going, I kind of want to see you on crystal meth.
That might help with transcription. Just laser focused.
Or because you're moving in half the speed that you normally would.
Yeah. What I need to move is double speed so that I can transcribe in real time rather than slowing it down to 50%. Okay, I don't think I did this at any point, but we should probably do this. So ask us some questions, because I think I'm supposed to ask some questions soon. And if no one asks any questions, then I think I have to sing or something. I don't know what to sing today yet.
My Ding-a-ling.
I don't know that song. Where are we?
Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry. I don't know any Chuck Berry offhand, to be honest.
What the? What?
What? You need an education, sir.
Yes, you do.
Jesus Christ! Haven't you even seen Back to the Future?
I've seen Back to the Future, yeah.
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 Who do you think sung Johnny Be Good originally?
I don't know. Some guy.
Some guy called Chuck Berry.
Oh, okay. Well, I've heard what's his name?
Is this really happening? Does he really not know this?
Okay. Wait, I'm trying to do time conversion here. No, we've got about 15 minutes before questions. So ask us some questions. In the meantime, there was one other kind of surprising thing, actually, this week. The 3.5 patch 3.5 has been added to the roadmap. So patch 3.5 is supposed to include the 890 jump, which is going to make a lot of monkeys happy. The Banu Defender, which is going to make no one happy. Different AI combat personalities, which is cool. Exploration, discovery of liquid gas deposits in space for extraction, some expanded cargo system, including different sized crates, data running, long-range scanning, refinery locations, comma ray revision, and a trio of new weapons. What do you guys think about that as the 3.5 edition? Is that enough stuff for a major patch?
Well, it's
Wow,
not
why is
the
that?
final list, is it? There's going to be some bits moved to and fro, but it's not a bad patch. Quite exciting, especially for the 890 jump. That's a big ship.
The 890 jump is sizable.
Oh, thank you, Chad and Turk.
Thanks, Chad and Turk. So it kind of sounds like, I mean, the discovery of gas deposits and liquid deposits for extraction and refinery locations. I'm not sure if that's going to be refining for like minerals or gas deposits or salvage or what. But 3.5 kind of sounds like an expansion to economy stuff, most of all, of let's add some more stuff for people to do and more ways to get materials and deal with them. Kinda? I don't know. Do you guys, Brian, do you think that that's enough for a major patch, assuming nothing else gets added to it?
A little bit. I mean, I'm mostly curious about the liquid and gas exploration. I mean, I can assume what gas is, probably crusaders, clouds, and nebulas, but the liquid has me intrigued.
Liquid in space?
I just want to see if my spaceship can survive at least one atmosphere below liquid.
That is, oh yeah, and then we could start getting different levels of spacesuits too, and some ships will be able to survive it. Like the Terrapin could go in, or maybe a Starfarer because it's built for gas refining. But if you take like a Gladius or something in, it would just be what, Shiver?
If there's liquid in space, does that also mean there's going to be space whales?
Yes, confirmed.
What sound does a space whale make, though?
In sound, it doesn't make any sound in space. It just sort of goes.
Like what?
Somebody needs to clip that.
There's
Oh,
also there were also some other changes to the rest of the roadmap this week. So, rest stop space station for 3.3 is apparently seeing significant progress. Mission modularity and racing are going to be added. Interdiction and salvage for 3.4. Salvage missions, that is. And AI planetary landing has been removed from the roadmap. In its place, there's FPS AI using stealth and flight AI using quantum drive and strafing. Personally, I'm hoping that with the planetary landings, this is one of the instances of something coming off the schedule, even though it'll still make it. But any thoughts on, like, do you guys want to do racing missions?
No, but it has some implications on it. Like, do you remember an ATV a fair while back? They showed procedure-generated roads.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. That could be interesting.
Do you
I
think
don't-
it'll be like ground races or air?
Well, they did mention not so long ago scramble racing had been a thing, or is it going to be a thing?
And wasn't there like a little racing cup this past week on Daymar? I think it was.
Yep, the Daymar Rally.
Yeah.
That's one of the fan run races that has popped up. It might actually be really interesting to see CIG codify that kind of stuff of like, because right now they kind of have to run it themselves and set the race, like the waypoints themselves and everything, right? There's no real way of saying, like, there's no set waypoints or anything in game. It might actually be interesting for CIG to codify it in missions, and two, to allow that codification into the beacons, right?
Mm.
So to have a good an actual race, the person organizing the race could set a bunch of beacons, and all of the contestants, it's sent to all of the contestants, and then they have to match all those beacons. Basically, through the service beacon, gameplay,
Tech.
allowing the service beacon tech, allowing player created and player run races to happen. I think that would be really cool. Just me, but yeah.
No, I
I
think
mean,
that's
it's
a good
fun.
idea. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I want
Confirmed here.
Yeah, confirmed here on
Races.
Relay. Why is that not working?
races with weapons hot.
Now that would be interesting.
That would be fun.
Yeah,
Like
it would.
Twisted Metal or
Well,
Mario Kart Extreme.
keep in mind,
To the death.
that's actually canonical already. There are 3 different types of canonical space races. There's rabbit, something else, and turtle races are full on weapons live, blow shit up, right? And yeah, you could go fast, or you could go in a terrapin and just, So I'm excited to start seeing that variety in racing as well, because yeah, I'd rather just shoot the people in front of me.
Oh, do you know what would be really cool? You remember the totally unique and original idea that wasn't ripped off from that movie? What's it called? Sateable.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that with weapons.
no,
no.
I can't.
Vicious.
No, what I want to see is zero-G knife fights.
How would the knives die if it's just knives fighting each other?
Okay, thanks to Shiver for that one. We're going to move on to questions. If you have any questions for us, there's a link in the chat. Go to it. Ask us a question. We'll give you our very best, completely 100% CIG authorized, approved, stamped response. All responses are 100% totally not at all CIG approved or authorized. We're just gonna yell answers at you. So Fez says, prove me wrong. The sun is flat. In most games, yes, it is. It's a flat texture in a skybox, and yeah. But in Star Citizen, you could fly into a completely spherical sun if you so choose.
I got one word. Geodesics.
Do you want to explain that word?
It's something with geometry and using a 2D plane to map out a 3D spheroid,
There
more
we
or
go.
less.
Second question from The Real Disco Lando. What should planet-side defenses be like? That's actually a fantastic question. Would any of you like to take a stab at that first?
They should be like these things that you can deploy to actually defend your property and/or people, rather than just ones that sort of like a wacky whaling inflatable arm man. That's a bad idea for defenses. You want guns or something.
Okay.
Maybe some porticuses or ramparts or.
I like how you think.
What do you think, Desmarius? Planetary defenses?
I really don't know. I hadn't gone to that level before, so
Bouncer.
So I think, personally, if I'm thinking planetary
Turrets.
defenses rather than... So you've got a planet. Planets are really
What?
big.
Hang on. You think a guy who just randomly swears is a good idea for defenses?
not Tourette's, turrets. Damn you, Shiv!
I love it.
It's worth it just for that, Shiver. Hey, you keep it right.
It's all right. You're
That's
planning on
usually
knocking
it.
that wall in anyway.
Wow. So here's what I'm thinking. Planetary defenses and land defenses are actually different things. So you'd want like turrets and stuff, close range stuff for a farm on planet, right? One of the things that they've shown off is the Cyclone variant that has missiles on it. So you could actually like, oh, the planes are coming in from here. Let's drive out there and defend that part of my land, whatever. Static defenses, static, AA turrets, auto tracking, all that jazz. But when I'm thinking planetary defenses, and this has always been one of those big problems with, say, Star Wars Episode 1 of how do you blockade a planet, and their blockade is like one or two things in a line. Well, just go straight up instead of at the blockade, right? And that comes to planets as well. You kind of have to play the angles when it comes to planetary defenses, in my opinion. Thanks for the follow, for some reason. You need large cannons on like asteroids that are circling the planet. You probably need stations. Yeah, basically planetary defense stations is what would be needed, in my opinion, for planetary defense. Because otherwise, planets are big.
Maybe supplemented by patrols as well.
Yep.
That's what I was going to like. A shipyard in orbit or something that just has a hangar for fighters.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, go ahead.
No, or one kingship. It's large enough. No. Go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say, take a page out of like the strategy games, like Stellaris and
Yeah.
Planetary Defense. Planet shields, orbital defense platforms, satellite systems.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
I think your biggest defense would have to be scanning, right? It's really hard to defend a planet because it's so huge. What you want to be able to do is find out where the threat is coming from before it gets to the planet, and then you mobilize specific defenses to defend from that specific threat. Because covering an entire planet, I mean, even satellites, we've got how many satellites up over the Earth, and we still don't have complete bloody coverage. Like, there are places that satellite won't even reach. You gotta catch them first and scramble.
Yeah, I agree. Good intel with command and control is definitely needed. That kind of leads into one of the aspects of the 3.5 that they released, is the long range scan.
Yep.
I'm kind of excited. My main thing that I wanted to do, I probably won't be able to do it. I probably won't be good enough. I won't have good enough reactions. I like to do exploration, and long range scanning is so important for that. And so I'm kind of excited how that's going to differ from just regular short scans.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have short scans for, I would assume, for at least what part of the iteration of mining, because you got to scan the asteroid to see what it's got, how much it is, where it's located, that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's gonna be active and passive scanning too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm actually really happy that we're talking about all of this today, because That's literally the entirety of this article that my friend is writing for next week, is all these different aspects of gameplay and how they're all, how important they are all. Blah.
You really are having a stroke.
I'm
Words are
not
hard.
doing well today on the Talking Shiver. I'm sorry.
Words are hard.
Yeah, words are very difficult, but there is so much coming in Star Citizen, and even if you just think, I mean, right now basically what we have is pilot. We can fly. But we're going to be getting the scanning and the mining and the salvage and all these other things, even down to, and he's been saying this a lot this week, and I'm kind of understanding where he's coming from. But one of the most underrated things that we have coming down the line is flight attendant. And you might think that sounds really, but it's such a proven game concept. There are so many games that are the flight attendant, and they're full games, right? And that's going to be one little tiny infinitesimal portion of Star Citizen. It's exciting, in my opinion, personally. Sorry.
No, there's definitely has to be some synergistic like flow with all the mechanics that CIG is developing. They all gotta complement and contrast each other.
Yeah. Complement, contrast, and that is the entirety of the article. It's downtime.
Obviously, is no matter how hard I try and be objective, I always seem to comment about the subjective. So I'm going to bounce something off of y'all because I know that y'all have probably played Star Citizen a heck of a lot more than I have lately. But what I'm seeing is a pattern from all the streams that I watch is, especially in the last couple of, since the last patch, and then the iterative hot fixes, since then, it seems like I'm seeing constant improvement. Now, there have been times where they had to roll back, but once they're over that hurdle, it seems like the FPSs and people's responses have been better and better and better. And to me, that just seems like, I'm not saying it's the end all be all. I'm not saying it's done or anything like that, but it's showing I didn't expect them to solve these problems this quickly. You know what I mean? Not saying it's all solved, but they really seem to be moving quickly through this stuff.
What I have to say about that is we thought that the only thing that could save the frame rates and network connectivity issues was going to be the bind culling and such coming in 3.4 now. But lots of that's like, those will probably help even more. But man, there's a lot of improvement that's happening. Like I'm playing it and I'm getting, 45 to 60 FPS. People are getting good. It's turning into a playable alpha now. Before it was a barely playable alpha. Now it's a playable alpha. Now they're going to start, and I mean, it's playable. There still isn't the gameplay, but the gameplay is coming. It is a really, really exciting
To be
time.
fair, you still do need quite a hefty PC.
Oh,
16
yes.
gig of RAM is not the norm.
My PC is not a slouch by any means of the imagination, but we're also still in alpha. And most games most games that you play in beta. You start playing in beta, and even then they have tons of issues in beta. This is still in alpha. They still haven't done nearly all of the performance improvements that they need to do. There's all these planned performance improvements for 3.4. There's all these planned performance improvements even for further down the line. They haven't been done. And if it's already running this well with this amount of fidelity, man.
Everybody drink.
Don't worry, I am. Okay. First off, Stay Hydrated bot is telling me that I've been live for over an hour. By this point in my broadcast, I should have consumed at least 4 ounces of water to maintain optimum hydration. Does beer count?
There's water in beer, so it counts.
Yes. So then I've consumed like 8 times the recommended. So let's move on to some of these questions. Because we got sidetracked by a great question. I Love Hentai asks...
Pardon?
Who doesn't? I Love Hentai asks, do you expect someone to name their settlement Flavor Town?
I know who asked that question.
I expect all kind of names. What I will say is anyone that has a small X and then a capital X and then like a dash and then some numbers in their name, I'm blowing you the fuck up. Okay? You specifically XXX Dark Lord's Town LOL 13XXX. You're dead to me. Dead. Captain Penis asks, cast your mind ahead 12 years to when Star Citizen 1.0 is released. What is the first thing that you do in the PU?
Probably have to walk away from the computer because someone wants a cup of tea or something right after I've decided I'm not going to play the game.
I mean, I'm kind of assuming that it's going to launch before 12 years. In 12 years from now, how old am I going to be? I'm going to be like, hey, you guys go play some Star Citizen. I got to take kids to band practice and hockey. And then I'm going to go home and sleep.
12 years from now. Let's see, that would be 2030. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'll just sit back and admire everything.
It depends on whether or not our overlords, the dolphins, will actually let us play games still.
We're also assuming that we still have electricity by 2030, so... Or, you know... Actually, no. I know what's going to happen by 2030. All of you guys in the South and the States are going to have moved up to Canada because global warming has eradicated, like, the entire stretch of the middle of the planet, so you can only live up here. So you guys are all going to be in my basement, and we're all going to hang out and play some Star Citizen together.
So like a reverse Days After Tomorrow?
Yes, exactly that. Okay.
I like Nighthawk Zale's answer.
Damn
I'll be
you,
free of
Nighthawk.
children.
Damn you to hell. Abdo asks, how will CIG deal with the first and third person view as it can break immersion and balance? They talked about that years ago. Back then, the plan was you can be in third person if you're in a non-combat area or if you're just like in non-combat in general. But to do combat, you have to be in first person view. And if you're like in a dangerous area, you just won't be able to go into third person period because they don't want you switching to third, peeking around a corner, switching back to first, walking out and shooting. Basically, third person will not exist for combat. And if there's a chance of combat, no third person. Also, that said, I think they have said, like, in a ship, you can fly your ship entirely in third person if you want, but you don't have any of the HUD. You won't have your crosshairs. You won't have anything. So flying it in third person is completely possible, but also completely useless. And they might even do that in first person, too. Yeah, you can go third person and try and shoot, but good luck shooting? I don't know. We'll see what they do. Any thoughts?
My hope.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say,
Go.
my hope is that on the third-person camera, when you're in a first-person combat situation, all players are occluded, or just your friends show up. So you can't see your enemies around corners. You just have to use first person, and you have to use your senses or the audio. to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Now there may be scans that might get knocked out with a small EMP grenade too. That might be a factor.
Yeah.
Okay, next question comes from Abathur, who reminds me that I need to play more Heroes of the Storm, who says, spawn more Overlords. Yes. Not Nighthawk Zale asks, Eris, if there are no questions being asked and you have to sing a song, what song would you sing and why would it be about Star Citizen 3.5 and the release of the 890 jump? Well, not Nighthawk Zale, if I had to sing a song because no questions were being asked, which thankfully questions were being asked and I'm not likely to have to sing a song, but the song that I would sing would probably be Hamilton, or at least the Weird Al Yankovic reprise of Hamilton, because I like that song, and it's currently been stuck in my head for the past since it launched. As to why it would not be about Star Citizen 3.5 or the release of the 890 jump, one, I don't care about the 890 jump. I think it's an ugly ship for ugly people. And two, I don't actually really care for the release of 3.5. I really don't think that there's all that much that actually changes the game in 3.5, and I'm slightly disappointed in the patch release that they noted, and really hope that more comes to it down the line. And now I'm going to take a moment to breathe.
It probably will, just like you said. Things will get invariably pushed over to it, and they're going to add more to it by then as well. That's so far,
Yeah.
in the future.
It is rather far away. I think that more stuff's going to get added to it, but what they have in there now doesn't really excite me.
Yeah, I was kind of underwhelmed, except for the long range scan. I was a little underwhelmed.
Long range scanning is good, but
Like,
it seems like
okay.
with all the stuff that's coming in like 3.3, 3.2, 3.4, that one seems a little weak, if I'm honest.
I have to remind myself what's in 3.3.
I'd have to remind myself as well, actually.
Repair and salvage.
Yeah, salvage.
That'll be kind of cool.
Nighthawk Zale, don't worry. I tell everyone what I think about every ship. Always.
And he's always wrong.
So John Did Fool asks, do you really think that they'll be able to keep up with the Trello, the roadmap for the features for the quarterly releases? Their track record is not very good, and 3.1 came in hot and in Hawaii time. I think that they will actually be able to keep up with it, if I'm honest. Well, here's the thing. I think that they might lose some features from various patches, and they might add some features extra to other patches, but the entire thing about the new patch schedule and the roadmap and everything is that there is no not meeting the deadline, because what they have ready is what they release. So I think that they're going to, it might not always be exactly what is advertised. Even 3.1 wasn't exactly what was advertised, but at the end of the day, and I think this is something that CIG have finally learned, and something that we as citizens have been saying for a long, long time. It doesn't matter if the patch is exactly what's advertised. We don't care if something is missing, as long as you give us something new on a regular basis, because otherwise it's really hard to care about the development of the game when you don't get to feel the development. Yes, we get to see it. We see it all the time through ATV, RTV, Ask the Devs, the newsletters, everything, but we don't get to feel it. And you want to feel like the development is going somewhere. Because Star Citizen is such a unique and such a different way of developing, we need to feel it, and that's what these patches are about. It's about, no matter what, every 3 months, we get to feel the state of the game.
I think the amount of content that's going to happen, that's going to be coming, is just going to start snowballing the further along we get. You know, we're just getting the start of some of the new systems now. Once that is in place, it's a hell of a lot easier to play around and add new stuff to the systems than it is to make them from scratch.
Yeah. What do you think, Brian?
I definitely like the new paradigm shift that CIG has started with this new release cycle. obviously, some things may not make it, and that's fine because we have the roadmap here. We have the information given to us to tell us that certain things will not make it, and that's good. And we should praise them for doing that, or at least praise them for finally getting that.
Des?
Yeah, I totally agree. And just kind of a side note before I forget it, I think the song that you should sing if after that last speech is "Feelings." Whoa, whoa, feelings. In case you don't get enough questions, it's an older song. It's a
Feelings?
classic.
Is that from
Yeah.
like Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh no, no, we're talking like the '70s. Come on now. Anyway,
Jesus Christ, that hurts when you say, he said that's an older song, and you're like, is that in Guardians of the Galaxy? And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. I'm doing it just for you, Shiver.
just wait to Austin. I get a hold of you. You just wait.
Oh, I'm actually really looking forward to it.
I am too.
Ashley asks, do you think that hacking mechanics and to a lesser extent tuning and overclocking should involve actual programming or programming like abstracted gameplay like we see in games made by Zachtronics? I have no idea who or what Zachtronics is or are, but yes, I think that hacking... Okay. I hate lockpick mechanics in 90% of the games that are out there because lockpick mechanics invariably involve put your cursor here and then press R and open the lock. Okay, what? That's not like screw off. Give me something. Give me something. I hope that they do make hacking slightly more involved. I do, however, want to note that they did say a long time ago that you'd be able to hack some systems remotely, but other systems of a ship you would have to like hit the ship with
that data missile.
Yeah, like a data missile or something that will let you hack further. So especially with that data missile, I kind of like that it mixes. It'll mix a hacking aspect with a combat aspect. You still have to get through their shields, still have to hit them with the missile, and then you can hack their ship dead. And once their ship's dead, I mean that's actually probably going to be even better than EMPs for stopping a ship and stealing its cargo. Is going to be having someone in the back of your ship running a hacking suite. But yes, it has to be in-depth. It has to be something that they have to actively do. That has to be as skilled as combat. Shiver, any thoughts?
I think it should scale. I really, really do like the idea because if you've got very powerful warfare capabilities and it's a low threshold to just get in, then it's going to be really fucking annoying. And you do want... but you do want it in the game, but you don't want it so often it's just like, well, I might as well just not be here and just say, yeah, blow me up and take me stuff. But you want it to be interesting as well as challenging. But it's a hard balance. It's a very hard balance. I mean, look at the way that Deus Ex does it. It's quite a cool little miniature game in there, but you wouldn't be able to do that in combat situation because it's all about speed as well.
You might not be able to, but if I'm riding shotgun in your ship, I'm in the back running a hacking suite, maybe I can.
True.
What do you think, Desmarius?
Yeah, I think that's the whole key to like a small multi-crew ship. I could definitely see that because you have your pilot. He concentrates on this one thing. He's good. You got a gunner up there to kind of keep him off your back just in case. You got somebody that's running engineering to make sure the power unit and the engines are running like they're supposed to and repairing them as take damage and things break down and what have you. And then you got somebody manning the scanner to find out where people were, and that person, once they've made contact, is probably going to be working E-Wars and doing some possible hacking and what have you. So it's a team effort, and that just it gives me freaking chills. That's the way it's supposed to be, and that's what he's trying to do, you know.
What do you think, Brian?
As someone who is both teaching himself how to program, I would love it. But not everybody has the mindset for such a skill set. So it would have to be a little bit more approachable for everybody. But beyond that, yeah, I like it. Like I hope it's involved, but I, like what CIG always says, I hope it's deep with the people who really want to do it.
Yeah.
Have they have skill, or they can gain the skills to do it effectively, but also approachable to where everybody can at least dabble in it.
Yazdem_SC mentioned something that I wanted to mention of like, not everyone has the mindset to be a combat pilot. I personally don't have the mindset to run cargo. So I would actually be okay if they did make some, like, my girlfriend is a nurse, right? I really hope that when medical gameplay comes, like the doctor gameplay comes in, that it is detailed enough that she can actually go in and be like, yes, this is slightly representative of like nurse, like there's so much to do in Star Citizen that I'm completely okay with. You know what? This person may not like cargo running at all. They've got to, does that make any sense?
When it comes to the medical thing, you don't want it too realistic because you'll be waiting like 2-3 weeks for treatment.
2-3 weeks? That's really good. Try it.
Only if it's a minor complaint and it's just take 2 of these and come back in the morning.
We just don't want to bankrupt everyone. Sorry.
If you don't have any health, you don't have anything at all.
Well, bankrupt the Americans. All the rest of us get it for free.
Hey. What's wrong
Always
with us
passing
Americans?
the buck. Always passing the buck. I see.
Nothing wrong with you guys. Just everything wrong with your medical system.
It needs a lot of help.
It needs some help.
Yeah.
I really like being able to go to the doctor and for free. Just go to a doctor.
Hey, you get good quality and you can get seen quick down here. It's just it's unreasonably expensive. And it kind of, I'm sorry, we're getting into politics, but it's unreasonably so, and it's a racket with the insurance companies and the politicians. Basically.
That's everything I hear, which I'm really sorry for you all. I'm really sorry.
Hey, what's that question from Nighthawk Zale saying?
Nighthawk Zale has a really good one. Nighthawk Zale asks, and I'm going to answer this first and then move on to the rest of you because I got to run away for 2 seconds. For the whole cast, is anyone else excited to see data coming out as a commodity with 3.5? Do you think that it's going to open up a whole new sector of gameplay for non-combatants? I'm less excited for data as a commodity than I am for ways to get that data. I'm more excited to see how they're going to put that data as a commodity that you can get. Is it just going to be like a commodity that you get as part of the mission, you have to run the data? Or is that going to come in as part of the long-range sensors in you are long-range scanning someone to steal their data and then you're running it back? That I'm interested in. We'll see what happens. Can the rest of you answer that? I will be right back.
Des? Brian?
So, I definitely agree with Eris, and insofar as we should. It'll be interesting how CIG commodifies data. If it's like a USB stick that we hand over to the kiosk and upload and save it to the job matrix or whatever it is, or if it's something else entirely. But as someone who's kind of interested in that kind of gameplay, I'm interested in all the gameplays. So, jack of all trades, master of none. I'm slightly interested.
Yeah.
My interest is peaked.
I'm wondering if they're going to introduce lore and B4 as well. No one gets that. They've got data, lore, Dr. Sung.
Yeah. I think that on that note, though, seriously though, they are having to balance so many different mechanics and aspects of the game. This, to me, seems like probably one of the harder ones. It's like, how do you get the representation? How is it balanced between within system and then through jump points and across jump points? It's just really interesting how they're going to do all that.
And also Discord too, because if someone's out scanning, they could just easily call up their org mates and be like, "Hey, I got this hot tip over here. Come warp to me," or whatever.
And I sure hope nobody creates a hack mod or something to kind of pull out the data from whatever it is in game, put it on Discord, send it across Discord, get it there quicker or something. That would be horrible.
Yeah.
Don't think too hard, Shiv. Don't do it.
Where are we, Shiver?
Commander Wolf asking what happened to the Squadron 42 roadmap they promised 4 months ago.
Good frickin' question, Commander Wolf. I would also love to know that answer. Funny thing is, several months ago, last year, I don't even remember what time last year, Commander Cruz and Tom, Jake, and I did an interview with Eric Kyron Davis. Unfortunately, Jake's entire hard drive corrupted literally the day after we recorded that interview, so it never aired and no one else ever heard it. But we did spend a while talking to him about how literally on the wall beside him was the Squadron 42 roadmap, and we hated him slightly for it, but it does exist. No idea when we're going to get it. I would really, really love to see it, or to at least get an update about when we can expect it.
Yeah, I would think that the biggest amount of time would probably be, or due to them trying to sanitize it so there's not a whole lot of spoilers.
Yeah. They don't have to, they basically have to change nothing for the PU roadmap. They just put up whatever's in the Trello, but for for Squadron 42, yeah, they probably have to sanitize a fair bit. Lord Kelmar asks, how many atmospheres of peanut butter can a Bengal carrier remain operational in? 72.
Smooth or nutty?
Who says
Just smooth or
nutty?
crunchy?
It's crunchy.
Yeah, sorry, I mind burped, I'm sorry.
Shiver asks, Eris, Dez, and Brian, what do you think of the 100 series? Brian?
You know, I was surprised that it was going to be a new series. I thought it was going to be the 300 rework or or maybe the Pisces or something. But no, I like it. I like the design. I like you don't have to climb up a huge ladder to get into your ship. You can just open up and you're good to go. Though they did kind of ruin some of the fuel mechanics though. So there is that.
What do you think, Desmarius?
I'm like him. It kind of surprised me. I mean, it's nice that they're. I don't know exactly what a starter ship is. Maybe low cost is one way you could define it. And it's kind of interesting that Origin, which is known for luxury, is down at that level, but yet still available for a starter package for people. I think that's really cool. I like him. I like the design of it. I like that they've taken the 600i and they're getting better and better at keeping a certain artistic profile for each of the different manufacturers. And it kind of makes me, well, being a 315p owner, it really makes me excited about, one, it's going to have to change the shape a little. When they do the rework, they're going to have to change the shape of it a little bit because it's kind of an odd duck in the whole Origin line, the way the artistic style looks. I would think they're going to redo the cargo doors to make it make a little bit more sense and hopefully not have that ladder type thing, not necessarily. And then also what they did with the cargo units for the 100i. I'm really looking forward to see how that affects the 315p, especially because it's supposed to be able to carry back stuff that you find in it, let alone the regular 300i, which I think would be the most cargo. But anyway, it's going to be interesting. I'm still holding out hope that they listen to Nooblets and at least get us like a little lavatory that kind of swings out or like a little toilet on the other end that
You
kind of
just want
swings out.
just want one of
Just-
those like bumper toilets that you hook onto the bumper seat, or not the bumper, like the hitch on a truck, and you put it on the hitch on the truck, and
Like a Kim toilet.
yeah, that's the one.
Is
That
it just
would
to prove
work.
you're flush for cash?
There you go.
My thoughts on the 100 series.
Nice.
Looks like a great little ship. I feel like the 300 is going to get bigger. I feel like
Yeah.
now's the time to buy a 300 if you're wanting a 300, because it's probably going to get larger and go up in price when they
Yep.
finally unveil the 300 update, because that 100i is basically the size of the 300.
It
Totally
kind of
agree.
renders the 300 series obsolete because you want to look at the starter ships or coming in now, and you want to spend $30, $40, whatever. And if you look at the 300 series as a starter ship for $50, it's a bit of a bad deal. So
When you get the
it needs to be
100
more of
yeah.
a ship.
I think that we're going to see the 300 series expand when it's launched. So keep an eye out for that. Ashley asks, should you be able to hyperspace RAM?
Yes.
No. It should affect you more than the other person, because your ship is already under huge stresses from going at that speed. So when you hit something, your ship should shear more easily and not do nearly as much damage to whatever you hit.
Imagine a glorious explosion at light speed.
It would be beautiful. Ashley asks, would you like to see Pico 8 in Star Citizen? I don't know what that is.
Is he the one who did Pen Pineapple Apple Pen?
Pico is a virtual machine created by something.
Speaking of explosions in space,
Sure.
just recently I saw where they had three caterpillars, one on top of each other, and they set one of them to self-destruct.
Self-destruct?
And when it blew up, the most amazing thing, it was a beautiful explosion,
Yep.
nice effects, but the amazing thing is when they zoomed in with the camera, is they were, all three of them were apparently loaded to the gills with cargo, and they had hundreds of these little tiny boxes out there that you could all go salvage. And I'm like, that's amazing.
Yep. I can't wait for that explosion. Yes, they're all loaded with hundreds of boxes, but that explosion will mean that there's only 20 boxes left.
Right.
That's what I'm excited for. Idris Carrier asks, is there anything missing in the roadmap that you would like to see in the near future? Squadron 42?
It would be kind of nice to know where we are within that in this development, since it's supposed to be the first one up.
Yeah. Yeah. No one cares about the Carrack, wee hamster. Stop trying to push your outdated and unwanted ideas.
So I'd quite like to see the Carrack appear on
You
the roadmap.
bastard!
Same here. It would be really nice to see that they're at least working on it, or having it scheduled.
I would
But
like
Go
like
ahead.
to see a complete revamp of the Freelancer.
But we're getting the Freelancer in December.
The Freelancer needs a complete and utter overhaul. It is one of the worst ships. It's one of the most underserved ships, and it's one of the most unuseful ships. It doesn't sit anywhere properly. I think it needs a huge overhaul, personally.
After what they did with the Cutlass, I got to agree with you. I still like the Freelancer. I still think it's beautiful, but as far as usefulness,
Yeah. After the Cutlass
Yeah.
rework, the Freelancer is not. It's not worth it. So yeah. Fastcart asks, I heard Admiral Bishop had some words with the CEO of Mobiglass. Are you worried about your privacy using Mobiglass? Are you thinking of closing your account? I would, but my girlfriend won't let me. I have to be available for family pictures and tagging. Otherwise, I'd delete it. Eris's Rebel Tongue says, when we get VoIP in-game, should we fear vocal griefers? Yes, because any game with voice in-game is bad, unless you can mute everyone who speaks above a certain decibel, or above a certain...
I was going to say you could just block them.
That too. Yeah. Though it's not Xbox, and Star Citizen's reasonably demanding. So I feel like the worst offenders, you know, people that play Fortnite on mobile or people who own an Xbox, possibly won't be playing Star Citizen. So we might be okay.
No, we'll just have really articulate insults thrown at us and questioning our sexuality and telling them about the sexual relations they had with our mother.
I am very okay with an articulate insult. The more articulate the insult, the more okay I am with it.
You're not.
Yeah.
I should know.
Ashley asks, what do you think the intended role for the freelancer miss is? Missiles! Missiles.
I thought it was going to be a studly single debutante awaiting being betrothed.
Oh, that's a
and then
Ms.
losing its title of Miss.
That's Ms., not Miss.
That is too many British things to
Karma the Slayer, you can always insult this channel, but we won't actually pay any attention unless the insult is witty, punny, and as verbose as possible.
Bollocks.
Hilarious. So good. You're the king of wit. Ashley asks, what size guns should outposts be able to mount? Depends entirely on the size of outpost. Size 12. All of them.
Isn't that capital size?
Yes. Yes.
That's humongous.
Yes. That's like Idris size. I actually think, I don't even know if it goes up to 12.
But should they be able to turn on a dime?
The outpost actually should just be the gun that rotates.
So
and
Megatron?
fires. Yes.
A stationary version of the Retribution.
Yes. Idris Carrier asks, should every ship with an interior get a light switch like the Terrapin?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you should be able to do it from the pilot's chair too.
True. Just like in a car.
They
you
just
can
fuck
override
with
the
everyone.
device.
Doot, 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 doot.
The original Grib asks, who's excited for FPS combat AI currently scheduled for 3.2? I know it will be rudimentary, but won't it be great to, in the find missing persons missions or other ground missions, to be attacked? Yes. One of the things I'm actually really excited for is 3.2 is going to have mining as well, and I really hope that there will be instances of you sitting there mining and being attacked by AI, like something to make it interesting. Like you've got to finish this box of minerals, but you're under attack by Tusken Raiders, and they keep shooting your pod racer, and it's throwing off your. Just waiting for someone else to chime in here. If anyone wants.
No,
to.
no,
If
you
anyone
carry
wants-
on.
No, I'm good. I'm done.
I thought you were getting interrupted by somebody. I didn't know what
Nope.
was going on.
No, I was interrupting myself to
I-
just stop.
I thought it was your conscience, finally, after all these years, making itself known.
Yeah, I personally am excited for FPS AI combat. What do you guys think?
Yeah, 100% there. Like, we just don't have enough players to have those kind of interactions, unless you're really, really lucky.
Yeah. Idris Carrier asks, would a trebuchet be still the superior siege weapon in space? Yes.
Only
And-
for swingers.
And Fastcart asks our last question. On yesterday's RTV, the dev stated that the Star Citizen audio engine, WWise, can play 256 sounds at once. Does it make you worried when there's 1,000 players in one place you'll miss some audio? No, it makes me really happy. I don't want to hear 1,000 people at once. It's a lot of people.
Yeah,
Uh,
I assume they'll probably tone that down. Like, pun
Did you just say
intended.
tone that
Tone it
down?
down. Oh, love it. With that pun, we're actually
On that note,
on that note. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, I should have done that. That's how it anyway. Desmarius?
Sheet the goddamn sheet music.
Shiver, you're trouble.
Thank you. May I say what a cleft chin you have today?
Oh, thanks. So Desmarius and Shiver, you do some stuff for the base, right?
Shiver does a lot for the base. I just
Yeah,
The base, like the base.
yeah.
It was.
I
it was
think you're just
yeah,
looking for
yeah.
some trouble. You keep this up.
Desmarius, you did the transcript this week. You and Sunjammer, thank you so much for all the work you always put in. It's absolutely amazing.
Sunjammer does the most of it. He's been there and just powers through it. He's become quite a force.
He is. Sunjammer is. Yeah, Sunjammer's pretty dang
He is
awesome.
the power of Iron Brew incarnate.
That stuff's kind of tasty. I kind of wish we could get it over here.
Brian, thank you so much for being on. Where can you be found?
I can be found Bryce Arena on Spectrum, BradGuy168 Twitter, Breevalls84 on Twitch, and Breevalls84 on YouTube. So
Well, thank you so much for being on. We really appreciate it. Shiver, you're always here. Thanks, I guess.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on, Shiver. Thank you all for watching. The beer of the day today were 2 beers by Stray Dog Brewing. They're a brew company from right near where I live. There was the Anytime Pale Ale and the Whoop Ass India Pale Ale. And with that, we actually have to end today because I have to run to a children's birthday party. So thank you all so much for coming out. I'm sorry we're stopping a little bit early, but we'll be back next week. Come back, check it out. Next week should be almost as awesome as having these guys. Commander Llama just showed up. He's going to be on the station next week. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. We'll see y'all in the verse. I really should have hit record earlier.